Hi guys, my name's Katie. I am a self-taught silversmith. This is actually my first YouTube video ever. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. I know I'm late to the game. After the TikTok ban happened, I was like, well, now you're gonna have to find a different platform. Then it came back, so I guess that was kind of pointless. It gave me the motivation that I needed to start this channel. I can't wait to see where this goes. I've learned everything that I know from either YouTube or other jewelers in the area, which I'm super blessed by. When I was starting out, I watched as many videos as I could on YouTube to understand the craft and the art of it, and I never felt like I really found a good silversmithing community. All the people were either a lot older, which is great because they have a lot more experience, but I didn't really feel like I could relate to any of the jewelers, and so that's the community that I want to build here. I am 24 years old. Me and my fiance just built out my little jewelry work shed. Absolutely a dream come true. This has definitely been on my jewelry bucket list. I've been a silversmith for about 4 years now. I started as a sophomore in college. I had a really bad freshman year. Going into my sophomore year, I didn't even want to be back on campus. It was still in COVID. I went to a private school, so stay open as long as they were staying safe. So I went back. I'm really glad that I did because I met some of my most amazing friends in the whole entire world, and I wouldn't have this business if I didn't. So the beginning of my sophomore year, I had some falling outs with all of my friends there, and I felt very lonely. Campus offered free therapy. I started going to therapy, and she told me to find an outlet. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was already in club volleyball and playing basketball and other rec sports on my free time, but I was just super anxious still, and it just wasn't doing the things that it used to do for me. So one day I was on TikTok and I found a video of this girl making spoon rings, and I was like, yes, I have always loved jewelry and I liked the idea. And so I told some of my friends, I was like, I want to start making spoon rings. First of all, they had no idea what that was. Second of all, I was like, I'm just gonna get the materials and start. Little did I know, to make a proper spoon ring, the materials were very expensive, and I was in my dorm room on campus. There was just no business for me to be making spoon rings in there. I said, I need to take a few steps back, and what else can I make that is not a spoon ring? So I found wire wrapping videos, which meant no tools other than a ring mandrel, some pliers, some wire, and some beads. And I was like, perfect, that's where I'll start. I went to Joann's that next day, got all the supplies that I needed, and my roommate was like, yes, you need to make an Instagram, these are so cute. I was doing this as an outlet. I was still very anxious. A lot of times I didn't even want to leave my room, and I was just struggling socially and mentally, and I was like, I'm not making an Instagram. What do you mean? I don't want anybody to know that I'm doing this other than my close friends who live with me. I'm too embarrassed to put my name on this. In my opinion at the time, it was like putting macaroni on a string. It was not real jewelry. My friend created the Instagram for me. I'm so thankful to her still to this day because I would not have this business without her. She created the Instagram for me, and said, that's fine. You can create the Instagram. You can run the Instagram. I don't want my name on it. I don't want anything about me on it. You do what you have to do. From there, she was like, Katie, we need a name. And I was like, I have no idea because I don't want my name attached to it. This had been all in a span of 24 hours. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just like, I don't know. You name it. I don't know what I want to name it. So she got some of her friends on the phone, and we were all brainstorming, and one of her friends named the business Hidden Gems. Little did I know how big that name would become to me and how much it would completely encapsulate my life. I'm so grateful for them still to this day. The name comes from the bead being hidden by the wire from the rings I used to make. These are the first rings that I ever created out of my dorm room. The Instagram hadn't even been up an hour, and my friend followed as many people on campus as she could. She was like, all right, I'm hungry, let's go get food. And so we were walking to go get food, and she looks at me and she goes, I just got a DM for an order. And I was like, what do you mean? And she had set the price at $15. We got our first order after the Instagram had been up for maybe 30 minutes. And by the time we got back to our dorm, I had 10 orders pending for what I called at the time our planet rings. This was absolutely insane to me. Right then and there, I felt my mindset change, and it was something that I had not felt in a very long time. I remember going back to the dorm and not even being able to sleep that night because I was absolutely so excited, and I finally felt like I had a purpose again. The next following weeks to come, I literally had no free time. I had orders and orders and orders, and it was just from people on campus, and they were supporting me so much. It was just so rewarding, and it got me out of that headspace that I was in. In about 3 weeks, I had saved up enough money to be able to purchase all of my spoon making equipment. I remember I went home one weekend and I had told my dad everything that I was doing. He was a little bit skeptical, but after I told him how much money I had made so far, his whole tone changed. change and he was like, oh, well, can you make more with spoon rings? And I was like, yes. We went on a vacation, and at the swap meet that we were just walking through, we found a vendor, and I had told him about the spoon rings, and he bought me my first huge tub of spoons. I think he paid $100 for me to start, and there was 850 spoons in there. And I remember I made a TikTok and I was like, when your dad buys you 850 spoons and you only have 40 followers. That TikTok blew up. It was the first TikTok I ever posted, and it completely blew up. I had 2-point-something million views, and I remember when it hit 10K in 30 seconds, I was like, whoa, this is insane. And it had just kept climbing and climbing, and I didn't think anything was going to come of it. And then suddenly I was receiving orders on my little website I had makeshift created for my campus, and then suddenly I was receiving Instagram followers, and it was absolutely nuts. And I remember the adrenaline I was feeling, and I was like, this completely changes the game for me. Not wanting anybody to know who I was or that I was related to this Instagram account, to be able to get my confidence back. I actually did make spoon rings out of my dorm room for the remaining of that year, which I'm so lucky that I had such amazing roommates, because I know it wasn't quiet all of the time, but they were so supportive of me and so loving and kept pushing me, and I definitely would not be where I am in this business if it wasn't for my roommates' support and my family's support. When I went home that summer, I had saved up enough money working throughout that year with the wire wrap rings and the spoon rings that I knew I wanted my jewelry to go in a different direction. There's nothing wrong with that art. I think it's beautiful, but I wanted to work and make something that was a little bit more long-lasting than the wire wrap rings. When I got home that summer, I purchased a soldering kit off of Amazon, and my parents cleaned out their guest room for me, and I was able to work in there all summer just learning and creating. And the very first ring I ever made as a silversmith was a sterling silver 8mm rose quartz ring. I remember I completely revamped my whole website. I put everything up there. I had this little ring up there. My future felt so different, and my confidence was so different, and I was just so excited. Flash forward to my seniorish year, I realized that I was having an opportunity to make more money in making jewelry I would be making if I would continue to get my degree. So I stepped back to really focus full on my jewelry making, and now I'm lucky enough to be able to do this as a full-time job, and I finally have my own little jewelry shed, and I'm so excited to take you guys along with me on the rest of this journey and see where we end up. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and I will give you guys all of the jewelry tips and tricks that I can.